I know I haven't been making any videos in a very long time. In fact, I think it would be the last time I made a video on this channel was about 2015, I believe. Um, yeah, my daughter is much, much smaller, and now she's much bigger. Um, so I know it's been a while. The world has gotten a little crazier. Things have changed for the better and for the worst, both personally and externally in the world and in life. And currently, we are, as a country, as a world, are being forced to slow down, take account of things. Mother Nature is a living organism, and as you know, all living organisms have built-in defenses, and sometimes those defenses kick in order to balance life. And what we're going through right now with COVID and quarantining and the fear and all that comes with it, it's just Mother Nature balancing things out. We've spent decades, matter of fact centuries, just polluting our world and polluting our thoughts, polluting our minds, polluting our airways. We have gone around and just been so obsessed with consumption, hustle, move, go. And all it takes to grind everything to a screeching halt is a little microorganism that cannot be seen, can't be felt, can't be tasted, can't be heard, can't be smelled. Yet its presence has forced entire countries to stop dead in their tracks. It's amazing, really. And for those of us who are experiencing the fallback that's caused by this pandemic, whether it's financially or mentally, emotionally, or physically, more importantly, we are all in this together, believe it or not. Even the rich billionaires who are doing the absolute least to alleviate the problems. Yeah, we're all in this together. We all got to fight for each other to come through on the other side, and I believe we will. Things will not be the same. This is one of those events that will be written about in history books for centuries. It's like BC and AD. BC is like, before Christ, and Anno Domini, after Christ, right? Now, I'm not religious, and I'm not here to talk religion with any of y'all, because I got some radical opinions about that, but this, I think, would be very akin to that. If not, it would at least usher in a new age. And the reason why I say that is because we always had the technology to do schooling at home and work at home and do a lot of things at home. We always had that technology, but to actually be forced to use it, once all this is said and done, guess what? only a few of us are going to go back to how things were. That's the truth. That is the absolute truth. A lot of people say, oh, homeschooling online and all that. It's going to come back in a big way. People are going to realize, you know what? Yeah, no, you don't need to stick your kid in the classroom with 30 other kids and underpaid teachers and understaffed schools with poorly funded educational materials for them to learn. They can actually learn under different circumstances. Who would have thought? Who would have thunk it? Yeah, you don't need to commute 45 minutes an hour and stuck in traffic or on a horrible commute on deteriorating subways to an office building to sit in a cubicle farm next to Karen in accounting who doesn't really know what the heck she's talking about most days. Or Kyle in marketing who also doesn't know what he's talking about. Or your boss who always is asking for yet another meeting about a meeting about a meeting that should have been an email. Yeah, we're coming to that point in which no mas, it's going to be done. It's an exciting time. It's a scary time for all of us. Some of us may not make it to the other side, and that's a reality that we all are facing. A lot of us will. We will get to the other side. We'll be changed. We'll be different. We'll have grown. But we're going to get to the other side, definitely. One way or another. Whether it's, I hate to be morbid, but whether it's crossing the Rainbow Bridge or just getting through it. With that in mind, I went ahead the other day and despite quarantine, you are still allowed to go to the store and buy essentials. So I went to Target, and you know how it is when you go to Target. You go in for one thing, and you come out with 18 other things. One of those was 3,000 questions about me. Now, these are good. Like, you can pick this up. It's good. It's more for like a writing prompt. So I picked it up. Fresh pages. Listen, you cannot get the feel of a book from an Audible or a Kindle book. I mean, it's great, especially when I want to just sit down and just start reading it. But to actually have a physical copy in your hand, smell the fresh ink and pages, yeah, that's something a whole different realm. Anyway, I thought it'd be cool if I answered a few questions. Oh man, oh man, there's some questions in here that are like, what? Well, anyway, I've got 3,000 of these questions. 3,000 questions. And yes, I'm recording off my iPhone. I don't have my other camera set up yet. That's coming. Don't worry about it. All right, let's see here. I'm going to guess. Let's see. You know what? Let's do a couple questions and see where this goes. And I'm kind of interested. I want you to leave in the comments either some questions that you have or maybe some of the answers to the questions that are being asked. All right. So, question number 1. What is your idea of perfect happiness? You know, that's a subjective kind of thing. Um, Everyone's idea of happiness is different, obviously. Um, my idea of happiness is a complete family, a loving, caring wife, respectful kids, everyone's healthy, um, money issues are minuscule, like meaning like I wake up and everything's on auto pay. I think that would be perfect happiness. Being able to help anyone, do anything, go anywhere at a moment's notice, that freedom. Yeah, that's my idea of perfect happiness. All right, question number 2. What is your greatest fear? Wow. Wow, what's your greatest fear? Oh boy. My greatest fear is I guess not being better than I was the day before, the year before, the month before. I've seen a lot of people, myself included, matter of fact, myself very much included, just stagnate, get comfortable, status quo. And we all know that comfort zones are graveyards, they are not playgrounds. What is the trait? Oh, question number 3. What is the trait you most deplore in yourself? Well, I'm learning to love myself and I'm learning to be okay with myself. However, I think the biggest, I guess, the trait that I most deplore, and remember, a trait can be physical, it can be emotional, mental, whatever, is that my beard doesn't get really full. It's kind of patchy, okay? Not to worry, I use beard oil and a comb, and I keep it trimmed. But I'd love to have it a little, a little fuller. Question number 4. What is your greatest extravagance? My greatest extravagance would probably be like tech stuff. Like, I spent money on my TV and my computer. But when it comes to new sneakers, I'm like, yeah, no, I'll go for the Model sales. Question number 5. What is your current state of mind? Current state of mind is at peace. Believe it or not, I can't worry about stuff I can't control. I can't worry about the past. I can't worry about other people's actions. I can only focus on what I'm doing now. And what I'm doing now is producing content finally that hopefully can help people out there. Question number 6. What do you consider the most overrated virtue? Forgiveness. I think forgiveness is thrown around a little too much. Now, coming from a family and circle of friends, or old circle of friends who used to believe that, doesn't matter what people do, just forgive them. Yeah, no. Again, that's just my opinion. Question number 7. On what occasion do you lie? That's a very tough question. I think when I have to hide a surprise for somebody, yeah, I'll lie. Sometimes on a job interview. Not so much like, oh yeah, I worked here when I didn't. More like, yeah, I painted the widgets. Not just sorted them. I painted them. Come on, we've all done it. Question number 8. What do you most dislike about your appearance? Oh, okay, all right. You know what? This little thing not connecting. There's a little gap, and yeah, it. Anyway, hey, I'm me, right? Number 9. Which living person do you most despise? Oh man. Oh man. Wow. Despise is such a strong word. I don't know if I despise people. I may lose respect. I may lose confidence. I don't think I despise. Despise is like borders on hate. And hate is a very toxic emotion to hold on to. I guess to talk more about that, and you know, there was a time which, there was a family member of mine that I despised very much, but he passed, and before he passed, I made peace. So I did come to terms with that. Question number 10. What is the quality you most like in a man? Well, I have a few male friends. Um, the qualities that I look for in my male friends are honesty, ethics, hard work, loyalty. The quality that I appreciate out of all of that is ethics. Why? Well, ethics, or that code of conduct, is your guiding light in everything you do. If you have an ethic that says, you know what, we're going to do everything by the book, no matter what it takes, get it done and get it done right, well, that's going to inspire you to be honest. That's going to inspire you to do hard work. That's going to inspire you to be loyal. I notice the folks who don't have a strong center, a strong core, they're all over the place. And they're not my friends anymore, period. And honestly, if I was that way with somebody, and I know I was that way with a lot of people, I stopped becoming their friends too. It's life. Question number 11. What is the quality you most like in a woman? Ethics. Honesty. What's your code? If you're out here trying to game the system or manipulate or get emotions or reactions or trying to get your way, that's going to make me push you away, and vice versa. Light attracts light. Darkness attracts darkness. That's just the way it is. Question number 12. Which words or phrases do you most overuse? Oh, man. Oh. At the end of the day, it is what it is. Know what I'm saying? I mean, for real. Word. Yeah. And in texting, it's LOL. Even though, like, LOL for me it means I'm smiling. LMFAO means I'm really laughing. And LMAO is I'm smiling with my teeth showing. Number 13, what or who is the greatest love of your life? My daughter's greatest love of my life, hands down. I guess I could go more into that and more into who else was the love of my life, but That's a chapter I'm learning to close. Number 14, question 14, sorry. When and where were you happiest? Well, to be honest, I'm learning to be happy in any circumstance, any moment. But it reminds me of a time that a couple of years back, I went to the beach with some friends of mine. And my daughter, her mother, and we had an amazing time. There was music, there was food. I mean, we had sand in our turkey sandwiches and all that, whatever. And in that moment, I realized I was the wealthiest man alive. I was at peace. It's a beautiful day that day. Question number 15. Which talent would you most like to have? I would love to know how to play the piano and the guitar. Not guitar, guitar. I'd love to know how to play those. Like, just talent. Like, just play Fur-Elise on both. Question number 16. If you could change one thing about yourself, what would it be? I procrastinate a lot. I mean, I was going to say, well, I wish I could change this. Like, all right, I think we're done on the appearance. I procrastinate a lot. In fact, I procrastinated a whole week before I made this video. I'm not really sure why I do. My therapist has some ideas. But it is what it is, right? I was told that procrastination comes from dealing with unhealed childhood trauma. I like to think that that's not the case, but we'll see. Number 17, what do you consider your greatest achievement? My greatest achievement? Holding it down when the world was falling around my ears. As a father, as a man, as a provider. Get down. Sorry, my cat is off camera and he's becoming a nudge. Greatest achievement, getting into the career that I enjoy, which is tech. With no prior education, being able to do pretty well in it. Yeah. Question 18. If you were to die and come back as a person or a thing, what would it be? I'd like to come back as a brainiac. Nuclear physicist or something. Question 19. Where would you most like to live? Well, for a very long time, excuse me, after I left New York, I've been living in Jersey for a while, but for a very long time after I left New York, I was like, oh man, if only I could go back. I want to go back to New York. But I like my town. I actually want to buy a house near a park in my town. Not going to say where it is. For those who know me, know. For those who don't, you don't need to know. 20. What is your most treasured possession? My most treasured possession probably be my phone because I do everything off of it. Question 21. What do you regard as the lowest depth of misery? Being sick in a jail cell. Yeah. Question number 22. What's your favorite occupation? Well, for very long, I wanted to be an architect. And to this day, I still dream of going back to school and finishing my architecture class. But that hasn't panned out just yet. Question 23. What is your most marked characteristic? There's so many of mine. My sense of humor, my laughter, my ability to make others smile, the fact that I'm tall, I guess. Being optimistic, yeah. Question 24. What do you most value in your friends? Well, if you refer back to my other answers, ethics, loyalty, hard work, the ability to learn and push and mentor and grow, yeah, all my friends do that. Question 25. Who are your favorite writers? Well, all right, I'm gonna tell you a few. I mean, some are self-help books and some are just, whatever. All right, so for fiction, I was a big Dean Koontz and Stephen King reader when I was younger in high school. And then for nonfiction, writers would be Mel Robbins, Grant Cardone, and David Goggins. Pick up his book, Can't Hurt Me. Question 26. Who is your hero of fiction? All right, so I'm going to get a little nerdy over here and say that would be Captain Kirk from Star Trek. And the reason why I tell you this is because as a kid, my parents watched a lot of Star Trek. I mean, they would just put it on and, Next Generation as well. But I was more into the TOS. And then I got into the Star Trek movies and everything. And one of the lines that he said, and I think it was Star Trek II, Wrath of Khan, was, I don't believe in no-win situations. And that stuck with me. Now, mind you, I was like, 13, 14, when I actually, got a chance to watch it on did we have DVD? No, we had VHS still back then. I watched it on VHS. I was like, wow, this is awesome. Question 27, which historical figure do you most identify with? Wow. I think I identify a lot with Thomas Edison because he was consistent about trying new things, trying, when it would look like everything else was, just falling apart. Like when he built the light bulb, it took like 5,000 different tries. 28, who are your heroes in real life? Question 28, who are your heroes in real life? I'm not sure if I have heroes in real life. I guess you could say I enjoy like a good comeback story. For instance, Robert Downey Jr. Guy was doing okay in movies, then he slipped into drugs, I think a couple of times, hit rock bottom, picked himself up, became one of the highest paid actors in the world today. Everyone loves a good comeback story. 29. Question 29. What are your favorite names? Well, I like to refer to my coworkers as Kyle and Karen, even though their names are not Kyle and Karen. But when you see them, they look like a Kyle and Karen. So yeah, I think those are my favorite names. Question 30. What is it that you most dislike? Dishonesty. If you want to get on my bad side, lie to me. Question 31. What is your greatest regret? My greatest regret? Not finishing architect school. I mean, I'm doing well in tech, but dang it. If only I would have finished architect school, what would I be doing right now? I mean, I'm not to say that I can't go back, but the financial sacrifices and, I mean, heck, with all this going on. Eesh. Anyway, 32. How would you like to die? Asleep between two beautiful women. Question 33. What is your motto? Ooh. I don't believe in no-win situations. Question 34. Do you like watching reruns? Yeah, depending on what show it is. I can watch a Marvel rerun. I can even watch a Battlestar Galactica rerun. Like, yeah. Excuse me. Chapter 35. Question 35. Have you ever won any kind of contest yourself? Yes, I won a contest in which an essay that I wrote was published a um, in a youth newspaper years ago. What gives you cheap thrills? Video games. Not as much anymore. I used to game all the time, but I don't do that anymore. 37. What do you think is worth waiting for? True love, I guess. Worth waiting for. You know, again, my mind's always been about rush, 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 go, go, go. But as I get older, I'm learning to slow things down. So, yeah, we could say that true love is something to wait for. 38. Are you an organ donor? If so, why or why not? Question 38. Yes, I am an organ donor. If something happens, God forbid, to me, which, well, heck, I'm not going to be using them. You know, someone else should be given a chance at life. Question 39. Should parenting classes be mandatory for new parents? Yes, yes, and yes. You know why? Because none of us got this crap figured out. And if anybody tells you that they do, and they haven't, like, if they haven't read anything, then yeah, it's mandatory. I need to stop looking at the screen. I need to look at the lens. So, probably what's happening. Like, why you wonder, it's like, why is he looking over there? Over here. Question number 40. What is the number one thing people are always asking you for help with? Computer issues, and they're always kind of asking me for advice regarding certain things, regarding certain relationship issues, I guess. Question 41. What movie did you love, the original, but hate the sequel? Matrix. Hands down. I love the original Matrix movie, but the sequels, come on. Well, come on. And Matrix 4, I mean, my hopes are kind of low, to be honest with you. Question 42. Are you more talk and less action, or vice versa? Well, I'll be honest. Yeah, I'm a lot of talk. But I'm learning to take more action than talk. Question 43. Have you ever given someone a handmade present? Yes, when I was younger. When I was a kid, that's all I could afford. Handmade presents. But yeah, I don't do that anymore. I don't got time for that. And it's cheesy. When you're in your 30s, you can't give someone a handmade present. Like, come on, what's this about? Question 44. What type of person angers you the most? a liar. Question 45. Could you live without electricity for a week? Ooh, how am I going to charge my phone and my PS4? I mean, if push came to shove, yeah, of course I could live without it for a week. Big whoop. But no PS4. Oh my God. No. Question 46. Do you think Great Britain should be part of a united Europe? Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Listen, I don't follow what's going on with that, with the whole Brexit and all that other stuff. But yeah, come on. Y'all should have stayed in the EU. Anyway, I know someone from Britain is going to get in my comments like, oh, how dare you talk about this? It's preposterous. Anyway, question 47. Have you ever eaten a whole tube of Pringles by yourself? Yes, I have. Question 48. Do you like champagne? If so, what is your favorite brand? I'm not sure if I like champagne. First off, I'm not a drinker. I do like sweet wines, desert wines, but I'm not a champagne drinker. Question 49. What nervous habits do you have? Nervous habits, shaking my legs under the table. Biting my nails. What else? Ooh, yeah, I think that's about it. Question 50. What do you do when you and your best friend get into a fight? Well, my best friends and I don't get into fights. We get into arguments, we get into disagreements, but we don't get into fights. We don't do that. However, what I've learned is to ask to be heard, do more talking than speaking. Do more listening than speaking, and usually the answer to the issue gets found out. But I do admire the fact when my friends can call me on my BS, and I can call my friends on their BS. Because at the end of the day, if you can't do that, are they really your friend? Are you really their friend? Friends are supposed to help each other out. And sometimes we got to be a little tough with the love. Anyway, that's it for tonight. We did 50 questions. Next episode, we'll do questions 51 through 100. Remember, there are 3,000 of these bad boys. Until then, be blessed and tingle on.